Good day. Welcome to Therapeutic Yoga. Today, we are going to tackle sleep apnea and snoring through yoga. So, there are a lot of causes of sleep apnea, but some of the most common causes of sleep apnea are related to upper airway obstruction. And so when you have upper airway obstruction, some of the main causes can be that you either have postural dysfunction that's kind of having you where your airway is closing once you relax. We're going to work on that one. The second problem can often be that your tongue gets weak. So therefore, when you relax, it just kind of falls backward in your throat or in your pharynx area. And so we're going to work on that one. And then the third real mechanical cause of airway obstruction isn't so much what's happening here, but what's actually happening here. So there's a high correlation with abdominal weight and obesity and sleep apnea and snoring. So what we're going to attempt to tackle in today's class is to use what are called oral pharyngeal exercises. Basically, what I want you to think about is it's exercises to strengthen your tongue and improve the alignment of your upper airway through posture exercises so that you can learn how to keep an open airway when you sleep. The second thing that we're going to do is work on breathing exercises to get rid of some of this. So I'm going to go over some breathing techniques in sitting that you can use to start to maybe decrease the middle of the abdominal area that sometimes can limit how you breathe when you sleep at night. So that's our task for today's yoga class. What you will need is a chair for starting and sitting. You'll need a yoga mat and a yoga block for when we hit our mat. What I'd like you to do is find yourself in a seated position. Have both of your feet nice and flat on the floor. Make sure that you're not using the back of your chair. So don't allow yourself to fall back and rest your rib cage onto the chair. If doing so, you're going to already be not be able to have good alignment. So use an unsupported sitting position. Once you're there, just allow yourself to just gently roll your pelvis forward and backward so you can see or feel the amount of pelvic and lumbar movement you have, and see if you can find in the chair where it feels like you're sitting on your sit bones. And once you feel that position, make your spine nice and long, and then using your hip joints, so keeping everything nice and still in your body, just hip hinge slightly forward until you feel weight into your legs. When you do that at home, the test that you've done it right is if you can easily pick up your legs or not. You haven't done it right. So if it feels like it's difficult to pick up your legs, or you would have to move your body to pick up your legs, chances are you're in a good alignment through the lower half, or at least a fairly efficient alignment through the lower half. Now let's get these shoulder girdles in a little bit of a better position. So just gently shrug your shoulders up. So kind of engage the thoracic girdle muscles. Hold a tray with your hands, and then just gently turn your arms out, and then pull your elbows back and down, and then just rest your hands on your thighs. Now you cannot see my hands on the screen, but they're just resting palm down on my thighs. Lengthen your neck a little tiny bit and let your chin settle into your throat. Now, for today's exercises, it's actually a good thing if you can figure out how to get a double or even a triple chin, because what we're going to be working on doing is opening that oral airway. And so if your head is forward into extension or forward into flexion, it's going to be very difficult for you to do the oral pharyngeal exercises. So make sure that you have that nice, good alignment that we always work on when we're in yoga class. Okay, so let's start talking about what exercises we're going to do with our tongue and with the muscles of our jaw area. So the first exercise that we're going to start with is what's called a lip trace. So here's what I want you to do. Just keep your mouth gently closed. Lips are touching one another. And then take your tongue and literally trace the inside of your lips. Then try it in the opposite direction. So lip tracing allows you to push your tongue forward, move your mandible forward, and then strengthen the tongue in multiple directions within your mouth. So when we get to our mat and I say, okay, in this position, what I want you to do is lip trace. I'll quickly mention what it is, but essentially it's moving the tongue in and around the lips in both directions, clockwise or counterclockwise. All right, the next exercise that we're going to work on is called caving. So when we call it caving, it's essentially thinking about taking your cheeks and letting them suck inward. So not like making a fish lip position. So not that, but actually taking your tongue and putting it on the hard and soft palate of your mouth. So what we call the rugae of your mouth. So touching that tip of the tongue to the roof of your mouth, and then working on opening and closing your mandible while your cheeks go inward. So this is what it looks like. So caving, the tongue never leaves the roof of the mouth, and all you're doing is opening and closing the mandible. The next exercise we're going to do is exactly opposite of caving. So what you're going to do is you're going to touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth, open your mouth how much is orally safe to keep the tongue touching the roof of the mouth, and then you're going to do tongue tip touches. Try to say that fast 10 times. So essentially, you're going to take the tongue off of the roof of the mouth, touch the bottom of the teeth, back up to the roof of the mouth, down to the bottom of the teeth. So this is what it looks like. So all you're doing is changing the tongue position, kind of like you're doing a bicep curl. Very good. The last one that we're going to do that's an actual movement exercise are cheek puffs. So imagine if you're at home doing this with me. If you blow your cheeks out, what you're doing is you're kind of stretching the muscles of the inside of the mouth that allows you to have more movement of your lower jaw. But what we're going to do is we're going to coordinate cheek puffs left to right or right to left, however you want to look like that. So this is what it looks like. Now, here's the thing, and this is what I want you to do if you're trying your cheek puffs at home right now. When you do the cheek puffs, your tongue needs to stay in the roof of your mouth. That makes it a whole bunch harder because you're having to use certain muscles to push the air side to side while your tongue is in its resting position. Try it again so you can see how much harder that is. Not so easy, is it? Very good. The last thing we're going to do as far as a mouth exercise is we're actually going to make some sounds. So the reason we're going to make some sounds is your glottis, the thing that kind of cuts your air off in the back of your airway in your pharynx area, is right where your vocal folds also are. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically go back and forth between two different sounds that make our tongue move in different positions. So we're going to say the word arc and unk, arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk, and really try to pronounce the k of it, because watch me when you say the k. Can you see that the muscles of my mouth actually make my jawbone slightly come forward? So the arc opens, the opens, but the k creates a little bit of a thrust to strengthen those muscles that do that. All right, so we've reviewed all of the exercises that we're going to do. We're going to do the circles of the tongue on the inside, or lip tracing. We're going to do the caves where the tongue stays touching the roof of the mouth. We're going to do the tongue touches to the top of the roof. We're going to do the cheek puffs and arcs and unks. So 5 different exercises to work on strengthening the whole oral pharyngeal area, fingers crossed, to stop or start to reduce the amount of snoring that you may have when you're sleeping at night. Now, find yourself still in that same position. Rest those feet onto the floor. I'm moving me back a little tiny bit so that now you can see my abdominal area. Make sure you have weight through your base of support. So into your pelvic floor and into your feet. Can you pick your legs up? Nice and tall, shoulder blades back and down, lengthen the neck, settle the chin. Now keeping the chin into that throat area and that back of the neck long. So we call that axial elongation. We're going to go over 2 really good breathing exercises to kind of fire up the abdominal area and begin to teach this area how to start getting rid of some of that adiposity or extra fat that you might have there. So the first breathing exercise that we're going to do is called Bellows Breath. Now, if you're at home and you have any amount of uncontrolled blood pressure, or you're in late stages of pregnancy, or anything that would not be safe to be moving your abdominal area and contracting your abdominals very quickly, just observe, don't perform these exercises because I don't want you to harm yourself. But Bellows Breath, essentially what you're going to do is use your rectus abdominis, your external obliques and your internal obliques and your transversus abdominis to fully contract your abdominals as you breathe. So all we're going to do is inhale it out, exhale it in. Inhale it out, exhale it in. Inhale it out, exhale it in. And we're going to do that for a repetition of 5 breaths. Now, if you have a lot of spinal issues, what you might be doing instead of inhaling and exhaling the belly is you might be arching and curving your back. So try to keep your spine nice and long. Hands are on the thighs, shoulder blades back and down, neck nice and long, chin tucked in. Place the tongue on the roof of your mouth. Let's give it a try. Inhale, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. How'd you do? All right, one more time. Count to 5. Here we go. Out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, and out, and in. Very good. So that's bellows breath. So think of a bellows and how it stokes a fire. So it really warms you up. It increases your heart rate and also your blood pressure. The reason you wouldn't do it if you had uncontrolled blood pressure. But it also starts to really get all of your abdominal muscles working. Very good if you have an oversized abdomen and all of those muscles are stretched out. All right, the second breathing exercise that we're going to do today before we hit our mat is what's called Coppola Bata breathing. It's also called skull shining breath because a lot of times, if you're not careful, you can make yourself dizzy. It is the reason we're doing it sitting down and not standing. But essentially what you're going to do, and I'm going to show you very quickly, is you're going to work on forced exhalations. And as you force the exhalation and contract the abdominal muscles, the inhalation happens naturally. And so we're going to do this breathing exercise at a rate of about 1 time a second. Okay, so let me show you how it looks. I'm going to show you for about 5 seconds, and then we'll practice it for 10 seconds at home. So I'm nice and tall, weight through my feet, lengthen my neck, settle my chin, tongue to the roof of my mouth. That's all there is to it. So you're forcing the exhalation by contracting, and as you do that, the air passively has to come back in on the inhale. Okay, let's see if we can do it at home for a count of 10. Nice and tall for me. Take that deep inhale, expand your belly, and contract, 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 contract. contract, 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 and contract. How did you do? So Coppola Bata breathing, if you have snoring issues, if you have a larger abdomen than maybe you normally had, where your abdominal muscles are weaker, it's a very good breathing exercise to start to fire up those abdominal muscles and make them work. Again, same idea as Bellows breath. Uncontrolled blood pressure or any sort of reason that you shouldn't be contracting your abdominals, like pregnancy, I wouldn't do it. All right, so let's hit the mat. Let's do some of these exercises along with some yoga poses and see if you're really capable of doing two things at once to strengthen your abdomen, improve your posture, and strengthen your tongue and your pharynx area. So meet me at the mat and we'll go from there. Find yourself in hands and knees. That's where we're going to begin today. So as you find hands and knees, just go ahead and keep the knees about hip distance apart. Check back that you can't see your feet on the inside or the outside of your knees. So have them all in alignment. Have your hips directly stacked on top of your knees, and then take your hands shoulder width apart and then underneath your shoulders so that your wrists and your elbows lined up with your shoulders. Index fingers are forward and thumbs are inward. Outer three fingers are outward. Now let's just go through doing some cat-cows really easily before we start to kind of add these oral motor exercises. So lengthen your neck, settle your chin, gaze down towards your hands. Start with an inhale and sink your belly and spine. Lift your tailbone, shoulder blades back, look up. And then as you exhale, curl everything under, pull that belly button in, spread those shoulder blades, chin to your chest, and look into your belly button. 2 more times for me. Inhale, sink the belly down, sink the spine, lift the tailbone, shoulder blades back and down, and look up. And then as you exhale, curl everything up and under, tuck that tailbone, chin to chest, and look into that belly button. And 1 more time. Inhale, sinking everything down. And exhaling, curling everything up. Now stay in that nice angry cat. Slowly push yourself to child's pose to start to open up through your gluteals and your abdominals, your low back. And gently rest your rib cage down onto your thighs, chest down onto the knees. Soften your elbows and slowly let your head come down towards the floor. If your head does not meet the floor, oftentimes it's good to use a pillow or a block or something so that your head can be supported. If you don't have any of those near you, you can kind of rest your hands so that your head is resting on something. But take a moment right now to find the position that you can rest the crown of your head where your hairline is on the mat, because we're going to go through a couple of these exercises in child's pose first. All right, so now that you're in your child's pose, you can have your eyes open or your eyes closed. If your eyes are open, have yourself looking straight back between your knees. So your neck is nice and long and your chin is gently tucked in. In this position for me now, allow yourself to just gently close your lips and take your tongue and start to trace your tongue around the inside of your lips. Do a few times clockwise and then do a few times counterclockwise. Then, staying in this same position, allow yourself to take your tongue to the roof of your mouth and then slowly open your mouth and close your mouth 3 times. Keep the tongue resting on the roof of your mouth. And then let's work on our diaphragm here for a second. So take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And exhale out. Deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Slowly bringing yourself back up onto hands and knees. Once you find yourself back up into hands and knees, allow yourself to reach the right hand to the left corner of the mat, and the left hand can kind of come and grab the right hand, lay on top of the right hand, or simply lay beside it. In this position, take a nice deep inhale, and then on your exhale, sit yourself back. Let yourself slide the arm back until you get yourself as deep into your seat as you can. And then take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, reach that right arm as much as you can and let that left arm hold it long. Now lengthen your neck, settle your chin into your throat, gaze downward so that you're looking towards your right knee. In this position, go through that tongue touching to the roof of your mouth. So place your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Open your mouth to the amount that you can without going any further. You would lose your tongue to the roof. And then touch the bottom of the teeth back to the roof. Bottom of the teeth back to the roof. And do that 3 to 5 times for me. Then, very slowly, go through the sounds of arc and unk. Arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk. 3 to 5 times for me. Gently bringing yourself back up to hands and knees, checking in that you haven't lost any of your alignment. And as you're checking in that you haven't lost any of your alignment, take the left hand, bring it up and over to the right. Right hand can hold the wrist, lay on top or beside. In this position, slowly sit back. Once you fully sit back, reach the left arm a little bit higher and then just kind of hold the arm in that position. Take a deep inhale. And on that exhale, can you reach a little bit further? Gently lengthen the neck, settle the chin. So get that axial elongation in this position. Back to those same 2 exercises. So tongue tip touching. Take the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Gently open the mouth to its full excursion without the tongue losing the roof. And then work on touching the bottom teeth to the tip of the tongue to the roof. Bottom teeth to the tip of the tongue to the roof. And go 3 to 5 times for me. Then, lengthening your neck, settle your chin. Make sure your gaze goes to about your left knee. Go through arc and unk 3 to 5 times. Arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk. Beautiful. Slowly coming back up onto hands and knees, finding yourself in that neutral position in tabletop. So take a minute to make sure that you haven't lost your feet alignment with your knees and your hips. Once you're there, check in with your hands again. Lengthen yourself so that your neck is nice and long, your chin is tucked in, and you're gazing downward towards the mat. In this position, can you take an inhale right now and let your belly sink? Okay, that's a stretch of the abdominals. Can you exhale and pull your belly up and in, but don't let your spine move? Very nice. So isn't that basically the concept of bellows breath? So what we're going to do is we're going to do it with a little bit of a faster breath. Again, you know if you are safe to do this at home. So inhale, belly goes out. Exhale, belly goes in. Inhale, belly goes out. Exhale, belly goes in. Can you keep your pelvis and your spine stable as you inhale it out, exhale it in? Inhale it out, exhale it in. Inhale it out, exhale it in. Inhale it out, and exhale it in. Very nice, ladies and gentlemen. 3 more cat-cows for me. So inhale, sink the belly, sink the spine, lift the tailbone, shoulder blades back, and arch that neck up as you look up. And then exhaling, belly in, arch the spine, tailbone under, spread the shoulder blades, chin to chest, and look at that belly button. 2 more times. Inhaling, sinking everything down, getting full length out of the front of your body. And then as you exhale, curling everything up, getting full length of the back of your body. Last time. Inhaling, 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 and inhaling. And then exhaling and exhaling and exhaling and exhaling. Now gently sit back into your child's pose. Gently rest your crown of your head back down onto the floor. Take a deep inhale into your belly. See if you can get that breath all the way to your pelvic floor. And then exhaling out. Inhaling into the belly and exhaling out. Let's do one more time. Inhaling into the belly and exhaling out. Beautiful. Now, slowly bring yourself onto your left side. And once you find your way onto your left side, either a pillow or a block is really nice to kind of support your head. You can support your head at your ear or just above your ear so that you're more on your temporal bone. And then in this position today, we're not going to be really focusing much on our shoulders. We're really going to be focusing on our abdominals, as well as adding into that some of those oral exercises. So here's what I want you to do first. Have your knees stacked up at the height of your hips. Let your legs be at 90 degrees so that your shin bones line up with the side of your mat. And so a lot of times, if individuals have snoring merely because of the fact that they have started to gain a little bit of extra weight, then sometimes it's difficult for them to get their muscles of their abdomen to really begin to fire. So this is an excellent position to introduce abdominal strengthening and firing if it's weak and you can't really do it. So what I'd like you to do is take your right hand and place your right hand onto your right thigh. Now, in this position, left hand can do whatever it wants to do. In this position, slowly start to push your right leg into your right arm and your right arm into your right leg. Take your right toes, if you can, please, and pull them all the way up at the same time. Keep pushing up, keep pulling down. Now, as you're doing that, what you're really starting to feel, hopefully, is that contraction through that abdominal area. Now, can you maintain that contraction, pulling those toes up, gently pushing the hand into the thigh and the thigh into the hand, maybe even getting a little bit of shaking of that belly area? Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Let's really work on upper posture. Now, can you go back and try that lip tracing? So place your tongue gently in the center of the roof of your mouth for a moment, close your lips, and then take your tongue and start to trace all the way around the inside of your lips. Keep pushing the leg into the thigh, into the hand, and the hand into the leg. Toes are up. And relax. Maybe, just maybe, you got some strengthening through there. All right. Now, take the left hand. Bring the left hand to that right thigh. Once you have the left hand to the right thigh, toes up. In this position, push the left hand into the right thigh, the right hand into the right thigh into the left hand. Feel that contraction that's happening in the abdominal area. Right hand, not really doing too much right now. Maintain this position, lengthen the neck, settle the chin, get the abdominals fired up, and let's try those, what they call caves. Remember, take the tongue, place it to the roof of the mouth, and open and close, caving in your cheeks. Keep pushing leg into thigh, into hand, hand into thigh, and leg. And relax. Very nice. Now, what I want us to try to do in this position is take your right hand, bring your hand all the way up and over your head. We're going to try to do a side sit-up. So we're going to try to really work on contracting the side abdominals. A lot of us, what we'll do is kind of move our head with our arm. So what I'd like you to do is place your hand underneath your head, rest your head into your arm. Then allow yourself to take your feet and pick your pelvis up. Shorten your abdominals. And then can you lift the abdominals? Can you make them even shorter by lifting the rib cage up? Don't crank on your head, so try to keep your head fairly in neutral and see if you can get those abdominals to contract. Now, in this position, can you try those cheek puffs? And relax. One more round. Let's try the tongue pointing again. So remember, what you're going to do is shorten the abdominals from below. So lift the legs up. Now, don't crank on your head. Don't pull your head too far to the right, but lift the rib cage. Really feel those abdominals contracting. Now try the tongue pointing. Tongue to the roof of the mouth. Open the mouth. Touch the bottom teeth. Touch the roof. Bottom teeth, roof. Bottom teeth, roof. Bottom teeth and roof, and slowly relaxing down. Very nice. From here, all I need you to do is do a 180 degrees if you're on your mat at home. If you want to flip so that you can still see me, do the same thing as I'm doing. So I'm just going to turn me around so I'm on the opposite side so that you can see me. In this position, I'm still using my yoga block to rest my head so that my neck is in a fairly neutral position. I'm lengthening my neck and settling my chin, taking those knees and stacking those knees up, hip height through my legs. My lower legs, my shin bones are running parallel to my mat. Toes, you're gonna have them up in a second, but you don't have to do that quite yet if you don't want to. Make sure you feel like your neck is long and your chin is gently tucking into your throat. All right, let's go back to engaging the abdominals through that kind of push exercise through your thigh again. So in this position, place your left hand on your left thigh. Toes are up. Now, can you start to push your hand down into your thigh and your thigh up into your hand? As you start to feel that contraction of the hip flexors, hopefully making those abdominals start to turn on. Keep your neck long and your chin tucked. And then let's go back to that lip tracing. Remember, your mouth stays closed and you're tracing your tongue around the inside of the lips. Keep pushing the hand into the knee and the knee into the hand. And then relax. Very good. Now, allow yourself to take the right hand. Place the right hand against the left thigh. So there's just a little bit more rotation to this one. So you get a little bit more of obliques and rotational muscles of your back starting to turn on and fire here. So take the toes back up again. Start to push the right hand into the thigh and the thigh into the right hand. After you get that nice good contraction started, make sure your neck is nice and long and your chin is tucked. And then let's go back to doing that cave. Tongue to the roof of the mouth, and then opening and closing the mouth, not letting the tongue come away from the roof of the mouth. And relaxing. Very nice. Taking your hand, coming up and around your head. Again, remember, this is to support your head so that you're not pulling your head upward and causing any sort of neck issues while we're trying to strengthen and turn on some abdominals here. So in this position, what I want you to do is take your legs and lift your legs up as you shorten the abdominals, then pull the rib cage up, keep the neck from being cranked too far to the left. Holding those abdominals into that shortened position, maybe even some good shaking happening here. Let's try those cheek puffs. And then slowly lowering down. One more round, same thing, but this time we're going to do the tongue pointing. So bring those feet up, feel that shortening through the abdominals. Keep your neck as neutral as can, support it into your hand, and lift that rib cage up. Now, in this position, tongue to the tip of the mouth, to the tip of the roof of the mouth. Open the mouth, and then take the tongue, touch the bottom teeth, touch the roof, 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 and slowly relax. Very nice. Now, from here, gently take your block, place it beside you, and slowly roll yourself over onto your back. As you're rolling over onto your back, get yourself into a comfortable position so you feel like you're in the middle of your mat. Allow yourself here to kind of make sure your shoulder blades are rolled back and under. Arms can rest out to the side for a minute, but keep your knees bent, your feet flat on the floor. Imagine if you could that that's about 6 inches or about hip distance apart between your hips. In this position, lengthen your neck and settle your chin into your throat. Rest your rib cage down. So as you lengthen your neck, if the whole rib cage of the back lifts off the floor, pull the chest down, pull the rib cage down, lengthen the neck and settle the chin. All right. Now, in this position, start to slowly push your head back into your mat, keeping your chin into your throat. Now, can you hold this position? Take that tongue and start to trace those lips. Do a few clockwise, do a few counterclockwise. And then slowly relax. Relax, pushing the head downward. Relax the tightening of everything else that happens when you do that. Now let's repeat it again. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to add some strengthening to the front of our neck rather than the strengthening to our tongue. Same idea. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, make sure your rib cage is resting downward. So you're not in a position that your rib cage is lifted up towards the ceiling. Rest that rib cage down. Lengthen the neck. Take your thumb, right or left, you pick which one you want, and bring it to underneath your chin. In this position, slowly start to push your head a little tiny bit down into your mat. You'll feel your back muscles engage. And then maintain that chin into your throat and don't let your thumb lift your chin upward. Now, can you hold all of that contraction while at the same time see if you can make your diaphragmatic breath happen? Two more breaths. And relax. Very nice. Now, gently take your right knee to your chest. Hold your hands around your shin bone. Take your left leg and bring it nice and straight. In this position, take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, lengthen that left leg away and pull that right knee into your chest. Pull your shoulder blades back and underneath you. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin into your throat. In this position, go through the arc and unk each time, 3 to 5 times. Feel how much you use through your abdominals as you say those words. Arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk. Very good. Slide your left leg up, release your right foot to the floor. Take your left knee into your chest. Take a nice deep inhale, and maybe on that exhale, slide that left leg down. Make sure your left leg is nice and long and your right leg is nice and long and your left knee is to the chest. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Pull that left knee into your chest as you lengthen out through that right leg. Shoulder blades are back and down. Lengthen your neck. Settle your chin into your throat. Go through 3 to 5 times of arc and unk. Arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk. Very nice. Now slowly bring your right knee to your chest. So this exercise is very commonly called an abdominal bracing exercise or push that we're going to do next. So we're going to strengthen our abdominals, ladies and gentlemen. It's made popular through the Institute of Physical Art, so I need to give them a props here. So here's what I want you to do. Take your knees for me and first pull your knees to your chest. Take a deep inhale there, and then as you exhale, pull your knees even closer into your chest. Just stretch out that low back and your gluteals for a second. Then gently take your knees away from your chest, but have it so that your knees are closer to your chest than the hip height. Take both toes and pull your toes up and to your head. Same thing as we did on our side now. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin into your throat. Take your hands, place your hands onto your thighs. Don't wrap your fingers around, but rather keep your fingers straight. Now in this position, lightly start to push your hands into your thighs into your hands, and then feel like you're trying to lift your hands up and away. Can you get that contraction that's happening in your abdominals? Now, can you hold that contraction and take a deep inhale into your belly and exhale out? Inhale into your belly and exhale out. Okay, now keep normally breathing. Can you trace your lips? Pushing the hands into the thighs into the hams. Can you strengthen your tongue at the same time as you're strengthening your abdominals? And relax. Pull your knees to your chest, relax your feet. Same thing, but this time what we're going to do is we're going to cross our hands. So take your knees again, slightly away from your chest, but closer than your hip height. Toes are up. Take your right hand to your left thigh, your left hand to your right thigh. Shoulder blades are back and down. Lengthen your neck, ladies and gentlemen, and get that chin into your throat. Now, in this position, start to push your hands into your knees and your knees into your hands. Feel all of those abdominal muscles begin to contract. Take a deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. Deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. Now, breathing normally, but maintaining that contraction of the abdominals. Can you do those caves? Place your tongue to the roof of your mouth and slowly open and close your mandible. Open and close your mouth 3 to 5 times. And relax and bring your knees to your chest. Maybe even do some circles with your ankles if you really felt the firing of your leg muscles. Very good. Now, take your knees back to the same position. Once you take your knees back to the same position, what I want you to do now is to take your toes and point your toes straight upright. Take your hands, place your hands into your lower belly and harden your lower belly until you feel a nice strong contraction. Make sure that your rib cage is not lifted up, but it's instead pulling down so you feel almost the shaking of the abdominals before we even move a leg. In this position, keep your abdominals nice and hardened, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, slowly lower your right heel to the floor. Inhale, lifting it up. Exhaling, lowering it down. Inhale, lifting it up. Exhale, relax here for a moment. Now, here's what I want you to try. Can you try to do the cheek puffs and alternate the cheek puff with the lowering and the raising? Yes, I know that is like 3 things at once, but let's give it a try, ladies and gentlemen. So really allow yourself to harden and brace and push into those muscles and feel them hardening of your lower abdominals and your abdominals. Pull your rib cage down if it's lifted upward into the air. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. You might already be sweating and feeling lots of muscles contracting. Let's start with that right leg first. So can you inhale, lower the heel down, exhale, bring it back up. Can you cheek puff it? Cheek puff one side, cheek puff the other side. Do that 3 more times. And relax. Hard to breathe, isn't it? Now we see why snoring happens. So what we want to do next is the exact same thing, but on the opposite side, but we'll do a different tongue exercise this time, or mouth exercise. So stack your knees back up, hands to your belly, toes up. Harden your belly, make it nice and hard. Feel those muscles contracting up and into your fingers. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take an inhale, drop your left heel down. As you exhale, bring that leg back up. One more time, please. Inhale, drop the heel down. Exhale, bring the leg back up. Take a break. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do that exercise as we do those caves. So remember, what you're doing is your tongue stays to the roof of the mouth. You're going to open your mouth as you drop your heel down, close your mouth as you bring your leg back up. But the tongue never leaves the rugae of the mouth. Let's see if you can do it. Find that alignment of your knees, toes are up. Harden those abdominals. Get a nice strong contraction. Drop the rib cage down so that you don't have it lifted. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin. All right, tongue to the roof of the mouth. As you inhale, drop the heel, open the jaw. As you exhale, lift the leg, close the jaw. 4 times. Keep the abdominals tight. Once you're done, pull your knees to your chest. All right. Gently allow your feet to come flat onto the floor. Make sure that you feel like your spine is in a comfortable position. Roll your shoulder blades underneath you. Let your arms come out to the side of you for a second. Now, let's do those bellows breath one more time. So remember, that is an active contraction of the abdominal muscles on the exhale, relaxation of the abdominal muscles on the inhale. So the diaphragm is really getting its exercise here. So what it's going to look like, neck is long, chin is tucked inward, relaxing that, getting that nice long neck. Arms are resting out. You're going to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And as you do it, see if you can avoid your rib cage lifting up. So keep the rib cage downward as you only use your abdominals to go up and in. This is a hard exercise for me. It may be a hard exercise for you. So to guide me, I'm going to keep my hand on my chest so that I don't let my spine move. Here we go. Inhale, belly out. Exhale, belly in. Inhale, belly out. Exhale, belly in. Inhale, belly out. Exhale it in. Inhale out. Exhale in. One more time. Inhale it out. Exhale it in. Good job. How did you do? Very nice. All right, last exercise for this tongue and this oral pharyngeal area. What I want you to do is allow yourself to walk your feet the width of the mat. Have your feet pointed outwards, your heels pointed inward. And we're just simply going to work on doing windshield washers. But what we're going to do as we do the windshield washers is we're going to work on tracing that lip again. So lengthen your neck, settle your chin, rest your arms wherever's comfortable for you. Take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, fall the knees to the right. Now, do one trace clockwise, one trace counterclockwise. Inhale, back up, exhale to the left. Normal breathing now. One trace counterclockwise, one trace clockwise. Inhale, back up. Exhale to the right. Make sure your neck is long, your chin is tucked inward. One trace clockwise, one trace counterclockwise. Inhale back up to the center. Last one here. Exhaling over to the left. One trace counterclockwise, one trace clockwise. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Inhaling the knees back up, and then exhale, just kind of walking the feet one towards the other. All right, now take your left leg and place your left leg straight down on your mat. Right leg, bring it up and onto the left thigh. Left hand, grab the right knee. Right hand, gently bring it out to the side of your body. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin into your throat. Take a deep inhale here. And as you exhale, lift your pelvis, lift your low back, lift your rib cage, but keep that right shoulder blade down on the mat. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, but take your gaze towards your right thumb. Take a deep inhale into your belly. Exhaling out. Inhaling into your belly. And exhaling out. Slowly bringing your neck back to its central position, nose pointed upward, and then start at the right rib cage. Use those nice strong abdominals you have to roll the rib cage down to the mat first, followed by the low back, followed by the pelvis, and then that right knee. Place the right foot on the floor, slide the left leg up, slide the right leg down, place the left foot on top of the right thigh, right hand to the left knee, left hand out to the side of the body. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin. Now take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, lift the left pelvis, left low back, left rib cage. Keep that left shoulder blade onto the mat. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and turn your gaze towards your left thumb. Now keep your chin in as your neck is long. Deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. One more breath. Nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Slowly bringing your head back to the center. Start at that left rib cage. Use those abdominals and bring the left rib cage down first, followed by the low back, followed by the pelvis. Place the left foot on the floor, slide the right leg up, and one last time, bring both knees to your chest, just hugging your knees to your chest, maybe even rocking those spinal muscles. We certainly didn't spend a lot of time focusing on them right now, so just make sure they're nice and open before you go on with your day. And then when you're ready, allow yourself to find a position that you feel your spine is neutral. Slowly lower one leg down to the corner of the mat, followed by the other leg down to the corner of the mat. Lengthen your neck. Settle your chin into your throat. Relax your rib cage down. Gently let your arms come out to the side of your body. Now, before we get into that full stillness, either actively doing these exercises or visualizing, whichever you prefer to do at home. Lip tracing, taking the tongue, going to those closed lips, and tracing the tongue all the way around the lips in one direction of clockwise or in the other direction of counterclockwise. Next exercise, caves. Take your tip of your tongue and rest it on the roof of your mouth, where your soft palate is. Then slowly opening your jaw and closing your jaw. Opening and closing, never letting the tip of the tongue leave the roof of the mouth. Opening and closing. Next one, tongue points. Remember, tongue to the roof of the mouth, open the mouth to its position, and then take that tongue, point it to the bottom teeth, point it to the roof, point it to the bottom teeth, point it to the roof, point it to the bottom teeth, point it to the roof. Fourth exercise to strengthen up that pharynx area and the muscles of your mouth area. Visualize resting the tongue somewhere near the roof of the mouth, and then allowing yourself to puff out the right cheek. Then puff out the left cheek. Puff out the right cheek. Puff out the left cheek. Puff out the right cheek. And then puff out the left cheek. And relax. Last exercise to visually imagine doing or actively practice before we rest our bodies in this position is that arc and unk movements. So allow yourself to repeat arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk, arc, unk, and relax. Now rest the neck nice and long. So really lengthen the back of your neck. Settle your chin into your throat. Relax your rib cage down. Allow your arms to relax. Soften your eyes and gently close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Rest that tongue into the roof of your mouth. As you're laying here, visualize, you guys, visualize the position of your tongue in your mouth. As it's resting there, you have a beautiful airway that you can inhale and exhale out of. As that tongue gets stronger and those jaw muscles get stronger, that position is easy to start to gain. But as the neck loses its alignment, as the tongue and the jaw muscles get weaker, as the abdomen unfortunately gets weaker and sometimes larger, then our airway begins to get smaller and smaller until on every exhale, we're like a flag flapping in the wind, making that soaring noise. So to prevent that from happening, simply work on the 5 exercises we practiced today in sitting, laying on your side, laying on your back. Now take these last few seconds to keep that tongue resting on the roof of your mouth. Just pay attention to your belly moving up on the inhale and gently down on the exhale. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then when you're ready, some circles with your ankles and your wrists, and then gently in your time, slide one leg up followed by the other. And then gently roll yourself over to your side, resting there for a moment, taking a deep inhale and exhale. And then on an exhale, allowing yourself to push yourself up into a seated position. Resting in a nice simple tail or sitting, legs are gently crossed, and hands are to our hearts. Smiles are on our faces. Taking a nice deep inhale in and out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes
The highest in you.
happy sleeping, hopefully without snoring. Have a great day.